vivo! Otro programa especial más de Conociendo Los Protagonistas. Hoy con una figura internacional que ayuda a los locales del Efight Pass. Con conexiones desde Wakanda, la gloria de España, el Thousand Sony, Boston, New York. Y hoy desde LA, Los Ángeles, con Sherry. Presentando a desde New York y siendo el Lazarus del programa, el chico platino Marcos Almanzar. Desde el Boston y siendo el derrame innecesario de Golden Speed, Ramón Encarnación. Desde el Thousand Sony y siendo el comandante en jefe, Mr. Prince, que no vino. Featuring el encargado de degradación de videojuegos de Wakanda en la Casa Blanca, Oscar, que tampoco vino. Y featuring el dueño absoluto de todo lo que se mueve y se oye en este programa, Patricio, a.k.a. Pavenic, o a.k.a. Vince McMahon. Y como invitado especial, Sherry desde el Efight Pass. Prepárense para escuchar el programa número 1 de toda habla hispana. Único programa patrocinado por Popeye. Aquí comienza. ¿Quién pierde entrega? Sabe que yo olvidé si era el octavo o el séptimo programa de Conociendo los Protagonistas. Hoy tenemos algo diferente porque tenemos una figura que habla inglés, completamente inglés. Oh, ¿sí? Ya sabrán por qué es tan importante. No. Y como yo no estoy muy diestro hablando inglés, tanto Ramón como Marcos y Paveni, que son los American People, van a hacer la traducción. A los que nos escuchan en audio, ella va a hablar normal inglés y va a tener la voz abajo como hace Nat Geo. El doblaje malísimo que hace Nat Geo. Y los de YouTube se van a tener que bajar a o entender inglés o leer subtítulos.
Le vamos a poner doblaje español de España. A todo gas.
Claro. ¡Hostia! El pase de batalla a todo gas. Ya en serio, Ramón es que de hecho, Ramón va a introducir a la invitada. Esto va a ser tan divertido como me voy hablando inglés. Dale, Ramón.
Hi, thank you for joining us. Nah, being serious now. Look at me. I'm serious.
Are you gonna sell something?
Now, thank you for joining us tonight. Tonight we have a special guest. Her name is Sherry. She is the founder of Efight Pass. Efight Pass is a program that helps players with their visa process so they can go out of their countries and participate in international events. That's a great job. Thank you for joining us, Sherry. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. Glad to be here. Thank you for having me here.
Sherry, tell us more. Tell us a little bit about you first, before we get into our subject. Cuéntanos un poco más sobre ti. ¿Quién eres tú? ¿A qué te dedicas? Tell us more. What do you do on a regular basis? You know, tell us more about you.
Okay, let's see. I do a lot of random things. I think my friends know that, but I do work Monday to Friday, so I do have a regular job. And then after work, it's I go out to dinner all the time with my friends. It's kind of typical, you know, weekends. I'm usually at a tournament, major tournament, somewhere in the U.S. or somewhere in the world, I guess. I'm going to France next week. And last week I was in Utah, just on vacation, doing hiking with my friends through mountains and stuff. So I don't know. It's a lot for me to describe in a podcast.
Okay. So you are a professional gamer, right?
Mm-hmm. I guess so. Yes.
Okay. Are you currently sponsored?
Yes, I am. I'm part of Canada Cup Gaming, so I rock the CCG Sherryjenix, but I am also sponsored by Victrix, so they provide my stick for me and all.
So the first question of the night is that we know that you are the founder of a program that's called Efight Pass, but what is Efight Pass?
Okay, it's actually very simple. It's a program that I made where players, well, I personally knew some players, so I kind of put them in the program that they're who inspired me to start this program. And I actually made a website where players from all over the world could apply to my program. And basically, it's players who need help to get a visa to come to the US and to compete in a tournament. And my program helps cover the fees, and we actually walk them through the process, the visa application process. And then I kind of give them interview tips and, you know, things they shouldn't say or things they should say, those type of things.
So that will be like you training in how they have to do the process. You help them with the process. So you have like a lawyer who helped them with the process. You have someone who knows about immigrant laws that is going to help them without any cost to do the process.
Yes. So basically, the visas that we try to get for the players initially are B1, B2 visas, and those aren't too complicated. That doesn't really need a lawyer, but I have consulted a lawyer to get advice from them to see, you know, on the things, the type of information they should include and whatnot. So the B1, B2 is something that I kind of just work with on the players on their own. And then if anything, if they want to go for P1, which is a more expensive and much more complicated process, that's when a lawyer needs to get involved. And initially I did have a lawyer, but we kind of like haven't spoke to him in a while because I haven't really needed a player to get a P1 yet. But I actually just met a lawyer yesterday. I met up with her, and she does immigration law for a lot of LCS players like League of Legends, Overwatch, and she's done a really good job with them. And we're actually meeting sometime later this month to talk about more details on how she can help out.
Is there any cost to the service that your project provides to the players?
For the so I kind of have like I haven't added this to the website yet, but I'm kind of thinking of making a tier. So there, you know, if there's a player that qualifies for, let's say, the gold tier, they get their visa cost paid for, and then we help them walk through the process. But then there's a lot of players that that's also applied to the program, and even though they aren't considered the best of their region, I still want to help them out. So although I might not cover those players' fees, I'm still willing to help them if they want to apply for their visa. Like, still give them the advice, still walk them through the process and whatnot.
Okay, so and what motivated you to start with this process?
It's funny. I actually have like two stories. I was at Thunderstruck last year, and I don't know if you guys know El Tigre, the Laura player from Mexico. He's pretty good. Yeah. I never met him before, but he was there playing casuals, and I was just playing with him. And I was like, yeah, you're really good. How come, you know, because Mexico is so close to the US, I was like, how come I've never seen you at an American tournament? And that's when he explained to me that the visa process, it costs a lot because it's $160 USD, and it's a non-refundable fee. So if you get denied, you don't get that money back. And because of that, it's a big risk for a lot of players to take. So, you know, that's what gave me kind of an idea. But then I also went to Fighting Fest after that, and that's when I met the Dominican Republic community. I met Crossover, and obviously I already knew Mena. And that's where I also met Picaro, the Bison player from Peru.
Yep.
So, yeah. So I was playing with them, and same thing. I was like, dude, you guys are really good. Why aren't you guys competing in the U.S.? Because the U.S. has so many tournaments, and all the players that do well at a U.S. tournament, they usually, like, get more sponsorships, they get more exposure, more YouTube videos, all that type of stuff. And it would just be a really good opportunity for these kind of players to make it out there. And same thing, visa issues. They both told me they both had visa issues. So when I got back, I kind of had the idea of the program, and I was trying to figure out what I can exactly do, like how to come up with this program. And as the months went by, because Fighting Fest was in September, and then Capcom Cup was in December, and that's when Crossover got his visa denied. and you know, people were just like, oh yeah, let's get an emergency visa and whatnot, and there really isn't one. Yeah, it's really hard to get an emergency visa. So after that, he had to forfeit his position, gave it to Picaro, who eventually got his visa and competed at Capcom Cup. So that's when I was like, okay, I need to get on this ASAP. And then I think I started working on it end of November, and then I went public with it in March, beginning of March or late February, I don't remember. But yeah, it took me a couple months to get all this information, get all the resources, and make sure that like my program could work.
This is Pavenik or Pat, or it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I'm here, but I'm not. So I do have a question about this, right? So, you know, there's many visa. There's, you know, like when you go and traveling as visiting, there's a work visa. What type of visa does your organization help the players to get through to go to the tournament?
Yeah, so the initial visa that we get them is the B1, B2, which is a visitor's visa. And technically, any player, even if they're sponsored, if they don't get salary, they qualify for the B1, B2. And that's the easiest and that's the cheapest visa.
Gotcha.
And that's 160. And the other visa that we try to help players get, which we haven't done yet, is the P1, which is considering you as a sponsored athlete. But when you go down that route, usually you hire a lawyer to file the paperwork for you, because when you claim yourself to be a sponsored athlete, there's a lot of paperwork you have to show them. Like, you have to show them your ranking, you have to show them articles, you have to show them the money you've made, the money you get paid for. So that's something that technically I shouldn't be doing. So that's why I have a couple of lawyers that I've been talking to about that.
Have you have any pushback? I mean, maybe from other communities? I just wonder.
No. I think everything's pretty positive so far, but I think right now, because it's in the beginning, there hasn't been much news because the process takes so long. So El Tigre actually started his process before I went public with the program, because I just wanted to make sure, you know, we could be successful with it, with all the advice that I got and whatnot. So when he actually got approved, that's when I was like, okay, let me go public with the program. And we actually have a couple players lined up. This Saturday, I'm actually going to do walk the application process with 2 Brazilian players. I don't know if you guys know K-Dash and Zenith. They're both pretty good.
I know
they probably know that. Like I said in the beginning, I'm just behind them, and whatever they say, I just repeat it. You know, but you know what? This is for those listening to this podcast. This is a new program. So that means that you are an entrepreneur with this idea, helping other folks that need help. So this is great. So we want to thank you, you know, on behalf of the community and those that need help. So thank you very much. So I'm gonna let the guys keep talking. I'm just gonna keep watching.
Okay. Now you were speaking about qualifications. Now we know that the qualification that someone needs to apply for a visa are totally different than the one that they need to comply with the program. But what are the qualifications that a gamer needs so you can help them?
Okay, well, so for my program, in order for us to cover the visa cost, for our gold tier, I'd say, there's the typical qualifications that you need for a visa in general, which is a passport that doesn't expire within 6 months, no criminal record, and actually those are the 2 main things that you just cannot, like, you have to qualify for in order to get a visa. And then the other things are for my program, whereas like you need work or education, like you need to be a student or you need to be working at the time, because that helps your percentage of getting your visa so much. So it does, like, it lessens our chance of getting your visa rejected. And another qualification is kind of more personal, where it's just, you just kind of have to be one of the best players from your region, because I feel like for us to cover your visa cost and to help run the donation drive to cover for your travel fees, you have to have been someone who's already put in the work to becoming a good player. It's not the other way around where, oh, if you get this sponsorship, you'll start practicing more, you'll start trying harder. No, I want to help players that are already in an unfortunate situation, but even with that situation, they were able to become one of the best. They were able to do really well and be really good in Street Fighter, even though they lack the resources that, you know, we in Europe or US may have. So that's probably the main important qualification for my program, where you're just a very dedicated and, I don't want to say top player, but very dedicated and great player from your region.
You don't want to say top player, but you have to say you got to be a good player. You got to be a good player.
You have to be good. That's the gold tier. But there's the other one where, you know, if you haven't reached that point, but you still want help with the visa, we won't cover your costs, but we'll still help you with the process, like give you advice and walk you through the application.
That sounds great. When would you say that it's the right moment for a player to start looking for help in that process, in the visa process? Like for a player that plays in a lot of tournaments and stuff like that, when is that right moment that the player would say, now it's when I need to go for my visa?
Well, even if you aren't the best, I feel like you should go for your visa anyways, because the experience that you get outside of your country is so valuable as a player and as a person. But if you're talking about like when they think they're good enough to go qualify for the gold tier, I feel like that's kind of easy to say because you just kind of look at rankings. Whereas, like, you know, like the top 8 who qualified for the Latin American regional finals, those 8 people, if they wanted to apply for my program and get their visa paid for, they all automatically qualified, basically. Just anything along the lines of that. Like, I know there's Figuras in Costa Rica, if you do well at that. Same thing for Game Over, which is a premier now.
Oh yeah. Shout out to Game Over tournament. That was a premier.
The first attack in Puerto Rico.
Yeah, first attack in Puerto Rico.
First attack, yeah.
So
big shout out to them. Big shout out to them. So, Sherry, what happens if a player goes to you looking for help and the process for some reason doesn't go through? What happens if the visa still gets denied?
So that's where things get kind of complicated, because if they get denied, they honestly shouldn't. I wouldn't like reapply them immediately. We would have to give it some time. I was talking to a lawyer. She said you should give it about 3 to 6 months later. And you know, she actually gave me very valuable advice yesterday because I met up with her. And if the player doesn't qualify for P1, because there's not a lot of players that qualify for P1, which is a sponsored athlete, she gave me this really cool idea. It's kind of like working the system. So you can go in for your interview anywhere in the world that has a US embassy. So the chances of you getting denied, for example, in DR, are actually higher than if, say, you were supposed to, if you go get an interview done in Canada, because they just accept more people out there in Canada. So basically, if, for example, if there's a player from Dominican Republic who got his visa rejected, we can actually send in another application and then somehow get him to Canada and do an interview in Canada, and that just raises his chances of getting in because they're not as harsh as they are down in DR when approving.
That sounds like a great idea. That sounds like
so that's actually that's gaming the system. And she gave me this idea yesterday, and I thought, because you know, I was stuck. I was wondering the same thing. Like, man, what if a player gets rejected? I don't want to just be like, well, that's it. You know, like you're out of luck. So that's actually a great idea, and I think that's actually something I'm going to try to do. But again, she said this isn't something that you should do immediately after you get rejected. This is something you should do a couple months after. So I think that would be the best.
I see that you're receiving a lot of support from players around the world. Your program is receiving a lot of support. I noticed that Justin Wong made a big donation. Big shout out to Justin.
That's funny because Justin's right here.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
He's over there.
Hey, Justin, what's up? So,
what happened? What happened? You got nervous now?
Yeah.
Who got nervous? Who got nah. So yeah, now big shout out to him for that. And also, I have a question. What other players have you received support from like that? Like, what other players are supporting your program like that?
I mean, to be honest, Justin himself is just a very supportive player and friend in general. Like, he doesn't just support me because I'm his friend, but I've seen him support many other programs like EXO Academy and whatnot. And I think he's one of the very few that would actively show support. But a lot of people have reached out to me and they said it's a great idea, blah, blah, blah. And to be honest, I thought about this, and I don't want to do something where I'm just sitting there asking for donations. I don't want to be like, hey, please donate, please donate, please donate. So that's why I've come up with this idea. I actually did a collaboration. There was this clothing line called Kind of Fit, Kind of Fat. I don't know if you saw my social media. I posted about it. They reached out to me and they wanted to do a collaboration with me as a player. And they just wanted to do like a gaming t-shirt. And I told them, I was like, hey, how about we go with this idea where I kind of incorporate my program into it. And if we sell the t-shirts, all the proceeds from the t-shirts will go into my program. So instead of just asking for donations straight up, we can actually find a way to earn money for the program. So that's one way, and that's getting a lot of support. I'm hoping the t-shirts will sell out. And then there's actually a charity tournament we're throwing at Super Arcade next month. In the charity tournament, I already got a whole bunch of SoCal players coming out, and there's no cash pot. All the entry fees go straight to the program, but there's a lot of support where companies are giving me products to give away to, you know, incentive for players to come out.
That is great.
That's a great initiative. But besides that, Sherry, we are talking about donations here. And as I went to the web page and I check all the stuff that you have on it, that it's really very informative. So if someone want to go and check it out, it's really informative, explain everything from top to bottom. But I saw that you have like dedicated donations that you can like sponsor a player that has already been accepted, that they have been approved for the visa. How does it work? I mean, what's covering? What do you, the money, what is being used for?
Okay, yeah. So after a player gets their visa approved, if they're not sponsored, I start a donation drive for them. So El Tigre is not sponsored, so that's why there's a donation drive active for him. So all the donations for him goes to covering his flights for to come to a tournament in the US, and his hotel, registration, and like just some petty cash to cover like food, because we're not going to send him here and not give him money for food and stuff. So that's basically all it is. El Tigre actually was able to come up with some funds on his own, but again, because I started the donation drive for him, what I'm doing is he hasn't gotten that many donations yet, and it's kind of hard for me to just ask people to donate directly to him. Like, I feel like I can just keep on tweeting like, hey, donate to El Tigre, donate to El Tigre, but that's kind of like beating a dead horse. So we're coming up with content for him. We already released the video, but we're also doing a thing where, again, with the t-shirts, I decided that I'm going to split the profit where 60% goes to the visa collection and the 40% goes to the player. So anything that I make from the charity tournament and then the t-shirts, 40% of that is going to go to the player.
That is great. That is great. For those who don't know, the website is efightpass.org, right? Go take a look at it, check it out, and if you can, donate, because it helps the players to go out there and fight for us. Let's call it that.
Yeah, I just want to make sure, like, because I know it's a little vague. That was one of my concerns, because I'm just asking for donations and the money's coming in, but there's only been one player that's made it so far. Because you know, Justin donated 500, so that technically covers 2 players, and that's going to the Brazilian players. So I just want people to know that, like, I hope you guys don't think I'm a scumbag and I'm like keeping the money for myself or anything like that. Like, the money is going to players. I actually have 4 total players lined up for the next batch of people I'm going to process.
That sounds great. Is there any message that you wanna get out there for those who want to donate, for those who wants to know more about the program? Is there anything else that you want to let them know?
I mean, if you have any questions about the program that isn't explained through the website, or you just want to talk to me about it, I'm always on my phone. So you can tweet to me, you can Facebook message me, you can email me. I check my email every like 15 minutes. So anything regarding my program, you can just talk to me directly about it. And as far as donations go and whatnot, I really hope you guys know how much it means to these players when a donation comes in. And literally, I've gotten Justin's donation. I've had 2 other people donate $200 because since each visa fee is $160. And there's fees involved also, so the actual total is around $180, $190. And with every donation, even if it's not $200, even if it's $5, $20, whatever, everything goes straight into the program. So any bit counts, and as long as you can even spread the word, that helps as well too.
Excellent. We're gonna make sure we're gonna drop the links for the donation buttons. We're gonna drop the links of the website. We're gonna drop the links of your social networks so people can learn more about this beautiful program that helps players that doesn't have the resources to go out there and participate in international tournaments. We're gonna drop the networks in the description of this video so people can go in there. I mean, it's not like we have millions of viewers, but you know, like you said, whatever helps.
Yeah, everything counts.
Well, thank you very much for joining us tonight, Sherry. This is gonna be it for now. I really wish you the best for you and your program. I really hope that El Tigre can get his visa.
He got his. El Tigre got his.
Oh, he got his,
yeah,
right.
He got a 10-year visa.
Awesome.
So
Well, we wish you to see you here in Dominican Republic.
who me?
Yeah.
I'm coming.
Oh, good.
I'm coming. Game Over is already.
He's talking shit. He's talking shit. He's not in Dominican Republic. He lives in Florida.
Oh, he lives in Florida?
Yeah, but I know that.
I'll be in Florida too for CEO. I'm going straight from CEO to DR.
Where is it? When is CEO?
CEO is the weekend before Game Over.
Where,
in Daytona.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
So is that a gaming event there?
Oh, it's one of the biggest fighting game tournaments.
Gotcha.
Listen, don't mind him. He doesn't.
Okay, wait a minute.
Knows nothing about fighting.
Wait a minute. I was honest at the beginning. I said, I have no idea about gaming. I'm behind you, and I just repeat what you said. I was honest. But hey, if there's an event, I can go and cover. I can go and do some B-rolls.
It's one of the biggest tournaments of the year. So
hey guys, give me the link. I'm gonna see if I can justify and go there and tell my wife I'm gonna be working.
Sherry, besides that, as Ramon was saying, thank you very much for being with us tonight. And remember, if you need any message expressed, this is your program. Even if Malasunto doesn't want to speak when you are here, you know.
Yep, you can consider this as your platform. If there are any messages that you need to get out there, you can count on us. I mean, there's not much we can do, but whatever we can, we will.
Yeah. No, I appreciate it. I really do.
All right. Thank you very much again. Thank you for being with us. And I hope to see you soon. Probably we'll see you in one of those tournaments.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, so this is over. Done. Cut.
Pero
yeah. Wait.
Quien pierde, entrega.
El gaming show número 1 de toda la República Dominicana.